One of our core values at Tetra Prime is empiricism. And basically, what empiricism means is measuring. A big way that we use this in our work is through running tests on things. So we have a lot of knowledge about marketing. We're also able to go read and gather other people's knowledge about marketing. But we try to be careful and not assume that that knowledge is always going to be right in every situation, because quite frankly, sometimes it just isn't. So we use empiricism and tests to validate that what we think is correct, or if we think that a certain thing is going to perform well for an audience, we try it and then we confirm that it actually is working. So that's just a preview to what I'm going to be talking about today. And that is basically today I want to talk about a couple months worth of tests I did for email subject headlines. So email marketing is a great part of any marketing strategy. And your subject line can be pretty important for getting people to actually open and read your email, because as you probably know, many of us have way too many emails coming into our inbox every day. If something doesn't seem immediately interesting, enticing, or beneficial, we might just delete it, even if it's from a brand that we like and we agreed to receive communications from. So you just want to always try to make those as enticing as possible, and there's a lot of different ways you can do it. One way that has been recommended by experts is putting a question in your subject line. So instead of just stating something, they recommend asking a question. Now, why? The kind of the theory behind it is that it gets people engaged, right? They instantly formulate a yes or no answer to the question, or maybe if it's an open-ended question. So the whole thinking is that it gets them interested, and then they have some motivation, some activation to read the email to see if they answered correctly or get the answer to the question, that sort of thing. So I wanted to try that for one of our clients. I tried that for our client, Oak and Amethyst. They are a crystal and metaphysical shop in Greenwood, Indiana. And I wanted to try this for their monthly email newsletter. So here's what we did. Typically, we used Oak and Amethyst's monthly newsletter in part to advertise for the live stream that they do at the end of every month. So for a couple months, I basically had headlines calling out the topic of that live stream that was going to be coming up. And so I thought that it might be interesting, given that people say that questions work well. I thought that maybe asking people a question about the particular topic might get them engaged. So for example, here is our January newsletter, and the topic was going to be stones for love and relationships coming up in February. So the first version, I thought I wanted to try using the subject line, do you know the best stones for love and relationships? Because I thought maybe people would say, oh yeah, I know what those are, and open the email and want to see if they got it right. And so the alternate version that was going to just kind of be a statement was the best stones for love and relationships. And as you can see, we use Mautic and we use their split test feature. So I sent this out to their email list, and there's the report on the number sent and the number read for each version. Obviously, you can't really see the numbers too well there. So I also put them in this A/B test calculator, and to also get percent difference and confidence interval. And so you'll see here that each one went out to approximately 170 people. And the version with the statement actually got 29% more opens, with a 91% confidence that if we were to run this exact same test again, we would get those results. So that was very interesting and went against the knowledge that, common knowledge that questions tend to work better. So with that result, I wanted to run another test and see what happened next. So then in February, the next topic we were going to do is basically detecting if a stone is authentic or some sort of fake. So again, my first version was a question. Can you tell an authentic crystal from a fake one? And then the alternate version was a statement. How to tell an authentic crystal from a fake one. So I said, let's run this test again and see what results we get. And there is a graph of the results. You can see it looks like a certain one may have been the winner again. And so this version, each one went out to about 185 people. And again, there were slightly more opens, lower difference on this one, but more opens for the statement saying how to tell the difference rather than can you tell the difference. 5% more opens, 62% confidence. So that one is definitely not as firmly certain that we would get the same result again. But still, it's trending not in the direction that I expected. So I ran the test one more time just to see what would happen. For March, the topic was going to be crystals and gemstones that people use for protection. So again, first version, question, do you know the best crystals and gemstones for protection? And the alternate version was a statement, the best crystals and gemstones for protection. So what happened here? Again, we sent it out, and again, you'll see from that graph that there is an edge to the statement version. 7% more people opened the email with the statement in the headline with 71% confidence. So again, that's not, if for really strong certainty, you went 95% confidence. None of those reached this level, but I had 3 in a row with leanings towards the statement headline, subject line, with moderately strong confidence intervals. So what's going on there? Why did we get these results that went against the common knowledge? Well, the short answer is I can't tell you 100% for sure, but I have a theory. Another thing that we know to be that experts and smart people say works well is that a subject line for an email that confers some sort of benefit to people will get better open rates than something that does not confer a benefit. And I realized that I may have inadvertently, my statement subject lines actually maybe talk about benefits that people wanted to receive when reading this email. So this first version, do you know the best stones for love and relationships? Versus the second version is kind of saying, hey, these are the best stones for love and relationships. So it's possible that people, rather than being pulled in by the question, were actually more interested in just knowing what they are because maybe they didn't know. Same thing for the authentic versus fake. Maybe people don't know, and in this instance, for this audience, us just saying, hey, we're going to tell you how, was actually more enticing than piquing their curiosity. And same thing for the last one we did. Do you know the best crystals and gemstones for protection? Versus, hey, here are the best crystals and gemstones for protection. So that was a really interesting series of tests. At the end of the day, I still don't know. My knowledge is not complete. So I'm going to continue leveraging our value of empiricism, and I'm going to run some more tests. And in the future, I'm going to be really careful to try to make sure my statement is not conferring some sort of benefit to people, because I think that was what was going on. So we'll try something a lot more bland and see if the statement is more kind of, bland, uninteresting, if using a question performs better. That will be future tests that I run. So the point of making this video is to show what results I got from this first running of seeing how questions work in email headlines, and then also just pointing out the fact that this is why empiricism matters. Conventional wisdom is sometimes correct, but clearly there's times where it's not correct, or there's other nuance in there that maybe you weren't aware of. Different audiences respond to things differently. So you just always have to take these things into account, and you've got to test it and see how it goes. So that's what we do here at Tetra Prime. And hey, if you want a marketing consulting firm who will run these kind of empirical tests for you, get in touch with us, and we would love to talk about how we might be able to work together.